When it was launched on January 8th, 2009, Bitcoin's first price was $0. And a year ago, it touched its all-time high of $67,567. We know that the jump was insane, but what's next? Has Bitcoin reached its saturation point? Well, it's not like it has always been steady. Its turbulent behavior has eaten up a lot of money, but now that it's back on track, what can we expect from the first ever cryptocurrency? For that, we have to concentrate on a very important question. What is Bitcoin? And can it go back to zero? Before heading to the video, we want to ask you, what do you know about Bitcoin? What are your thoughts about it? Let us know in the comments below. With that said, let's begin. With no need for a central bank or middleman, Bitcoin was initially proposed in 2008 as a decentralized currency. The Bitcoin network is a peer-to-peer network where transactions are authenticated by nodes and stored on a blockchain, and it allows them to be transmitted to and received from users. It is still a little unclear who created Bitcoin. On October 31st, 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto uploaded a paper with the title Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system to a cryptography mailing group. Nakamoto, however, has never disclosed any private information about himself, and his identity has never been established. This has caused many people to think that the moniker is a fictitious name for one or many investors. To exclude banks from financial transactions, Nakamoto came up with the concept of developing a peer-to-peer payment system without the need for outside validation. In this manner, the banks didn't have to get involved in each of every transaction. Satoshi made it clear that the goal of developing this electronic payment system was to do away with the third parties that are typically needed to carry out electronic money transfers. These services come at a high cost to third parties, who subsequently pass those fees along to customers, thereby limiting the number of transactions. Satoshi's vision would depend on the proof-of-work standard, which verifies transactions decentralized without the use of a central authority. And thus, the blockchain enters the picture in place of the central network. When American cryptographer David Chaum released a conference paper explaining a type of anonymous cryptographic electronic money in 1983, the concept of cryptocurrencies first came to light. The idea was to create a kind of money that could be distributed anonymously and without the need for centralized organizations. In 1995, Chaum developed the prototype cryptocurrency DigiCash based on his initial ideas. Before money could be delivered to a destination, it needed certain encryption keys and used software to withdraw money from a bank. The 1998 invention of Bitgold by Nick Szabo is generally seen as Bitcoin's immediate precursor. Participants had to devote computer resources to solving cryptographic challenges, and those that did so were rewarded. With Chaum's efforts, it produced something that roughly resembles Bitcoin. However, without the aid of a decentralized authority, Szabo was unable to resolve the famed double spending issue. As a consequence, it took another 10 years before an unidentified person or group operating under the moniker Satoshi Nakamoto released a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, which serves as a catalyst for the creation of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. On October 31st, 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto published a Bitcoin white paper detailing how the Bitcoin blockchain network functions. When Satoshi bought Bitcoin.org on August 18, 2008, they formally started working on the Bitcoin project. The development of Bitcoin was in progress. The very first block of the Bitcoin network was mined by Satoshi Nakamoto on January 3, 2009. In this first block, they included a headline from the Times, providing a permanent allusion to the economic circumstances involving bank bailouts and a centralized financial system, that Bitcoin was in part a reaction. The first block of Bitcoins ever mined was created just a few days into the year 2009. On January 12, when Nakamoto delivered 10 Bitcoins to renowned computer engineer and developer Hal Finney, the first Bitcoin transaction ever took place. The initial version of the Bitcoin software was published on January 9th. And as you all know, Bitcoin is being traded at $16,960.74 US. Have you ever seen an insane jump like this anywhere else? We don't think so. The cheap transaction costs for Bitcoin are a big factor in its popularity. Bitcoin has low transaction fees when compared to conventional payment channels like banks. As a result, a lot of individuals use Bitcoin when moving money, particularly across borders. In essence, the cheap Bitcoin transaction costs are advantageous for the majority of users, especially when making online purchases or paying for services. Of course, the possibility of financial gain is a major factor in why individuals engage with cryptocurrencies. When Bitcoin's price climbs, if you purchase it now when it's still cheap, you could benefit. Many people who made investments in cryptocurrencies before they were quite popular ended up profiting greatly. Since the market has not slowed down that much recently, the early investors are still profiting from Bitcoin. The rise in popularity of Bitcoin and growing awareness of it have simplified its use. That is because it's simple for consumers to discover locations to spend their money. Today, more individuals are aware of the possibility of using Bitcoin to complete transactions. Additionally, digital wallets make it simple for users to access and utilize their money. Being innovative, Bitcoin is adored by the majority of people. Some individuals think that someday, fiat or government-issued and controlled currencies will be replaced by cryptocurrencies. As a result, a lot of individuals like and use Bitcoin as a means of embracing technological advancement. Additionally, Bitcoin makes use of blockchain technology, which experts have hailed as having the potential to revolutionize several fields of the social and economic spheres. As more merchants begin to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment, its popularity will only grow. Additionally, consumers are becoming aware of this cryptocurrency's potential for value preservation, particularly in difficult economic circumstances. Additionally, incidents involving Bitcoin are frequently covered by the media, which increases its fame. Users on the Bitcoin Talk forum exchange 5,050 Bitcoins for $5.02 via PayPal, making it the first exchange for $0.00099 per Bitcoin. Therefore, the cost was around one-tenth of a penny. And on today, the price is around $16,805.90 US, and in October 2021, it surpassed the $60,000 US dollar mark. Since its most recent peak in November, Bitcoin has had several ups and downs, but experts continue to predict that Bitcoin's price will rise to exceed $100,000 in 2023. Mark Yusko, a longtime Bitcoin critic, projects that in 2030, the value of the digital currency will be $500,000. Yusko said that he thinks Bitcoin will eventually equal gold in value, while Philip Swift thinks that this currency is still in its infancy and comes with a lot of dangers. He predicts that it'll be worth between $92,000 and $137,000 in 2023. According to Citibank, Bitcoin will reach $120,000 in 2022. So, you probably do not need to be concerned about Bitcoin disappearing. Future price forecasts look optimistic, and the network is stable as long as investors continue to use the platform. Bitcoin will never go back to zero. We saw the iconic history of Bitcoin and its strong potential to replace fiat money. But we're curious about why you think about it. Tell us where you see Bitcoin in 2023 in the comments below. If you find this video worthwhile, you can consider subscribing to the channel and don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks for watching.